Hi, I'm Gordon Briggs, PhD candidate from the School of I-Arts at Ohio University.
My name is Max Talene, MA student in film at Ohio University, and you're watching Real Time.
Mon nom c'est Monsieur Marin.
Mamzelle le Marin.
Ah, vous êtes un marin?
Et Suleiman, tu arrêtes de te balancer et tu nous lis ton autoportrait.
Laurent Conte's new film, The Class, concerns one teacher's efforts to get through to a multicultural group of students in a Paris public school. It's as unsentimental as it is complex, and it's an urgent and involving film in the way that few other films can be.
So, The Class.
The Class.
What do you think, Max?
Well, I think that if we're gonna speak productively about this film, we ought to start first with the title, which is not The Class. It is in fact Entre les murs, Between the Walls, the original French title. And I think that gives us one key to decoding how we're supposed to read this film.
Right.
And so I'll begin there. The whole action of this movie takes place, or almost the whole action of this movie takes place in a single classroom, and you get some other places in the school, but pretty much it's within the school building and the yard, the entire movie. And what I think that title indicates to us is that we're supposed to see this as a slice of the future of French society and maybe of the society of the whole world. They're passing through this building, through this classroom, between these walls at this one moment in history. And they have a lot to tell us about what has already happened and what is certainly to come in the future.
I think that there's a real sincere intimacy to the film.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You feel like you're there in that classroom. And we can't underestimate what that means for the viewer, because so often you feel like you're watching acting in movies, or you feel like you're watching performances in movies. You cannot catch anyone acting in this movie.
It's so true.
Where did they get those actors
I
from?
have no idea where they found these kids, because they're so totally absorbed in their roles. I mean, the only thing I can think is that they actually are these people, and they just put them in the movie. Because I mean, there's certain people I just absolutely hate in this film. I mean, in a way that transcends acting. And there are others that I feel the deepest sympathy for.
You feel emotion for all the characters.
Yes,
and one thing I want to highlight is sometimes we really should compliment a film for what it's not doing. Okay?
Elaborate.
You look at some of these American films like Dangerous Minds or Freedom Riders, these movies where there's overly sentimentalized versions of, white liberal teachers coming in and rescuing.
Yeah, the Stand and Deliver kind of movie, or Dead Poets Society kind of a movie.
Here, there's none of that. It's all about teaching, and it's all about learning. You learn the frustration that teachers go through. You're a teacher, I'm a teacher.
Well, right, and not just the frustration. You realize that there actually are sometimes two sides to this.
Yes.
You know, that when teachers make mistakes, that it's astonishingly uncomfortable.
He's learning too.
Yeah,
the main
absolutely.
character is learning too. The main character is learning too, and I think it's a really good movie about communication.
You were talking about getting immersed, the viewer getting immersed, and I think it's in the way that this film is even shot. That so often there are these out-of-focus bodies and heads that are used as framing devices, and we are looking through the middle of these people and finding the one student in the background whose story is happening at this moment.
It has a documentary feel to it.
It does have a documentary
feel. Like it's documenting something that's actually happening. It's
happening, but I don't think it quite makes documentary. I mean, there's an important distinction here.
Yes.
If you want to see a good documentary about French students learning, go see To Be and To Have.
What we're saying is that this movie has an authenticity.
Absolutely.
So many movies do not. It has you feel like you're there.
And I think the other thing I want to point out is that it's very easy for me to forget how I was at that age, or perhaps for anyone, to forget how they were at the age of 14 or 15, to not have any sense of that culture of going to school at that age. And this film reminds us of that in sometimes alarming, sometimes very disquieting ways, and makes us remember that this is an extremely important time of a person's life, that we can't simply brush it aside, and that we better pay attention to this, because this is the future.
This is why we have one of the good jobs, not only being teachers but being film critics. We can tell people to go see The Class.
Yeah,
go
see The Class.
Go see this movie.
Go see this movie. And The Class, this past year's Palme d'Or winner at the Cannes Film Festival, is playing this week at the Athena. Thanks for watching Real Time. right. So keep singing Beauty and the Beast to me again. I think that's a hilarious film score, and you can...
I'll be bubbling, I'll be brewing. Nothing not. Heaven's sake, there's at a spot. Clean it up with all the company and press.
That's
We've
astonishing.
got a lot to do. Is it one lump or two for you, our guest?